All right, so let's start our last unit of the year, Unit 8, and this is all about volume. So let's talk about volume of prisms and cylinders today. So there is one formula for this, and it works for both prisms and cylinders. So it is volume equals area of the base. So this is area of the base shape, I'll say shape, and then times the height of the cylinder or prism. Okay, so let's look at these pictures. So on the first one, that is a rectangular prism. The base of a rectangular prism is a rectangle, of course. So then you would find the area of the base, so base times height, times the height of your prism. Okay, straightforward enough. The next one is a cylinder, so you would have to find the area of the base of a cylinder is a circle, so you're going to find the area of a circle and then multiply it times the height. Let's do a few problems to practice. Okay, so find the volume of the solid. So we've got a triangular prism here. So what is the base of a triangular? So we've got volume equals base times height. What is the base of a triangular prism? Well, it is a triangle. So we have 1/2 little b times little h, so little base times little height. We're just talking about the triangle. What is the base of that triangle? Well, it is a right triangle, so we are looking for the two sides that make the right angle, which would be 1 and 3. Okay, you can stick that in your calculator and you get 1.5. And now what is my height of my triangle, or a height of my prism? Well, that would be this distance right here, 2. So I'm going to have to multiply that by 2. All right, and so now we're ready to do a 1.5 times 2, which would give me 3. And then we need our label. So this is different from what we've been doing. We've been doing area up until this point. Now we're doing volume. So this is 3-dimensional. How many 3 feet or 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot blocks or cubes would fit in here? And that answer would be 3. So the label would be feet to the 3rd power. That's how you label volume always. Okay, cylinder. We've got the same thing. Volume equals area of the base times the height. What is the base of a cylinder? And it's a good old circle. So we've got to use pi r squared. So pi times 5 squared. And it doesn't tell you if they want you to round it or leave it in terms of pi. So we're going to do both for this. So that would give us 25 pi. And then what is my height of my cylinder? Well, that would be this amount right here. So that is 6. So times 6. All right, so now if I'm going to leave it in terms of pi, that would be 150 pi. Or if you're going to stick that in your calculator, so stick 150 pi in your calculator, and you get 471 we'll go 2 decimal places, so 0.24. And then don't forget your label, meters cubed. So depending upon how they want your answer, if it's in terms of pi, it's the top one. If it's rounded, it's the bottom one. All right, so now, this is a good one. So the volume of the right cylinder shown is 1,253 cubic centimeters. Find the value of x. So now they're wanting you to find the value of x. What is x? X is your radius. So we've got to work backwards. So we've got your formula, V equals area of the base times the height, okay? They're telling you that the volume is 1,253. So we're going to put it in that spot right there. 1,253 equals, what is the formula for the area of the base? Well, what is the base on this? It's a circle. So pi r squared times, what is your height of your prism or your cylinder? Well, that's going to be 10. Okay, so now we are trying to get that r by itself because that's what x is the radius. How would we do that? Well, if you remember from the last unit, we did a couple like this. So you're going to have to, since it's pi and 10 times that r squared, we're going to have to divide it off of there. So divide pi times 10, divide pi times 10. That pi, those pi's cancel, those 10s cancel. Cool. On the right side, you have r squared. On the left side, it's going to be a decimal. That is perfectly fine. Stick it in your calculator, and you get 39.88. Okay, now to get the squared off of the radius, because that's what we're trying to solve for, you need to square root it. So we're going to do the square root of 39.88, and you get approximately, so r is approximately 6.32. Okay, so let's talk about the label for this. They tell you this is in cubic centimeters, right? So then if the volume is cubic centimeters, what would the radius be? Would it be cubic centimeters? Would it be centimeters squared? Or would it be just centimeters? And the answer is just centimeters. And they kind of give you a hint on it right here. So x centimeters. Radius is a one-dimensional line. It's a straight line. So it will be just centimeters. Because we're not doing area, we're not doing volume, it's just radius. All right, now let's do a few more just to practice. We've got this one, so this is a rectangular prism. What is the base? So the base doesn't always have to be the bottom. You get to kind of pick, doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick, I like to pick the bottom side on rectangular prisms. That's just how my brain works. But if you do it a little bit different, that's all right. So volume equals base times height. So base times height for the base, that's going to be a 4 by 11, which would be 44. What is your height of your prism? That is 5. So now I need to type in 44 times 5, or work that out, however you choose, and you get 220. Then your label would be meters cubed. Alrighty, next one. What is the base of this? Well, this is not a rectangular prism, so you don't get to pick your base. You have to go with what type of prism it is. In this case, it is a triangular prism again. So we are going to have to find, the base is going to be a triangle. So the formula for the triangle is 1/2 base times height. What is the base and the height of your triangle? Well, you're looking for the two sides that make a right angle. So that would be 1/2 times 10 times 6. Stick that on your calculator and you get 30. Then what is your height of the prism? Well, that would be 5. So now I've got 30 times 5, which gives me 150. My label is meters cubed. Fun. Okay, let's do another cylinder. So we've got volume equals base times height. What is the what is the base of a cylinder? Still a circle. Pi r squared. So I've got pi times my r is 5 squared. That gives me 25 pi. My height of my cylinder is 12. Okay, multiply that out and you get 300 pi. And now if you do it in terms of pi, that's what your answer would be. Let me make that pi look a little bit nicer. So pi doesn't look that much better. Okay, sorry, I tried. All right, if they want it rounded, it would be 942.48. And your label is inches cubed. Okay, next one, the volume. So they're telling you the volume. They want you to find what? What is x in this problem? X is your diameter. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, first, we got to figure out what the radius is, of course, kind of like we did on that other one. And then we'll have to double it to figure out what the diameter is. So volume equals base times height. So our volume is 200 pi. They're telling you that. So I'm going to stick that right there in that spot. Then my base of a cylinder is a circle. So pi r squared. We don't know what the radius is. That's one of the things we're trying to find. Times the height of their cylinder is 8. Okay, just like that last one, we are going to have to divide by pi and 8. divide by pi and 8. So the pi's on the right cancel, the 8's on the right cancel. Nice. So we are left with r squared over on the right. On the left, you notice those pi's cancel, so then you just have 200 divided by 8, which is 25. Last step you need to do is square root, square root. So r is the square root of 25, which is 5. Cool. But then remember, x is not the radius, it is the diameter. So x is going to equal 2 times that amount, so 2 times 5. So x is going to be 10. Then let's do our label. This is diameter, which is similar to radius. It is going to just be centimeters. All right, let's do this one. This will be the last one I do. So what do you see? Well, I see two things. I see we have a cube and we have a half a cylinder. Okay, so how would you find the volume of this weird composite shape? Well, you're gonna have to find the volume of both of those pieces and then add them together, just like we did whenever we were doing area. So let's do the cube first. So volume equals base times height. So the base is, I'm gonna do the bottom of the cube. So that's a rectangle or a square, however you wanna look at it. So it's 4 times 4, which gives you 16. And then your height of your cube is 4. So 16 times 4 gives you 64. Cool, that was the easier one. Now let's do the cylinder, the half a cylinder. I cannot forget to do the half. Okay, so you've got volume equals base times height. The base of a cylinder is a circle, pi r squared. So then that would be pi times, what is your radius for this? Well, your radius is going to be this distance right here, and a common mistake is to write 4 as your radius, but it's not, that's your diameter. So you have to cut it in half. So your radius is 2 to the second power, which gives you 4 pi. Okay, and then your height of your cylinder is going to be this distance, so that would be 4. Okay, so now that gives me 16 pi, but I can't forget, I almost did, that you need to cut it in half. So divide it by 2, and that gives you 8 pi. Okay, so now the total volume is going to be 64 plus 8 pi. So if they want it in terms of pi, that's what it would look like. I know it's weird and it's probably going to freak you out a little bit, but it's fine. That would be what it is in terms of pi. You cannot add a non-pi number with a number that has pi in it. It just doesn't work. They're not like terms. So that's fine. If they want in terms of pi, that's how you would write it. They probably on this one will just want it rounded. So you would type that in your calculator, 64 plus 8 pi, and you get 89.13. And then we can't forget our label. It would be inches cubed. Okay. All right, that is it for volumes of prisms and cylinders. Hope you enjoyed watching. Have a great rest of your day.